Coming up next on the Jeff Crilley Show, let's face it, we're looking at ourselves all day long on some kind of device, and it's leading to a surge in cosmetic dentistry. It's called the Zoom Boom. More on that next.
Many are predicting that the worst is yet to come, which is unfortunate, said one person here. Until now, they've enjoyed the reputation of being the nation's icebox.
Watched a burglar in his home this morning by webcam.
As a journalist of over 25 years, stories are what make my world turn.
Reporting live from the Dallas newsroom tonight, Jeff Crilley, Fox 4 News.
But in 2008, I took the jump from my familiar life and started a PR firm from my home.
We're talking about anyone with a camcorder like the one I'm using becomes a television network.
We started slowly growing the company, and we now have over 100 clients, and we've branched into the world of live digital broadcasting. I now own 8 different TV studios and have a huge team, and the stories that I now get to share are sometimes the most important of my life. Life has a funny way of coming around full circle. This is the Jeff Crilley Show.
Well, during the pandemic, we were all forced to go on Zoom, and many of us were noticing imperfections that we had never seen before. They, of course, have filters, but they don't have filters to make your teeth white and bright and straight. To talk about that today, Dave Swift. He's with Dallas Laser Dentistry. Thanks for coming on the show.
Thanks, Jeff, for having me.
Yeah. So now, did you predict this during the pandemic? Did you know that you would get some kind of surge in business?
None whatsoever. Like everyone else, we were wondering, were we going to survive the whole thing? But dentistry came back very quickly and very strongly, and it was driven in large part by cosmetic dentistry. Even though there was a bit of leftovers, as it were, people who hadn't been able to get in for regular checkups, the fact that people were staring at a Zoom screen and seeing their smile right next to all these other smiles, suddenly they became much more aware of how they looked in comparison to each other. And Dallas is a place where people care about how they look, and therefore they looked for a cosmetic dentist to try to help.
And your company has a great reputation. We're going to pull up your website and scroll down it. How long have you and your wife had this practice?
Dallas Laser Dentistry was incorporated in 2001, so we're over 20 years focused on cosmetic dentistry, as well as doing general dentistry and laser dentistry.
And I know you and I visited off camera, and your wife is an artist when it comes to cosmetic dentistry, isn't she?
Absolutely. Instead of just putting the same thing in everyone's mouth, she basically takes a look at their facial structure, their lips, even how they cut their nails, because some people do it square, some people do it round. And surprisingly, whatever they do there is how they would like their teeth looking, and therefore their smile.
Outstanding. We found a great video. Let's go ahead and roll that now.
I've worked every position in the office. I've been a dental assistant, I've been a hygienist, and now a dentist. And it's made me a better caregiver on every level for my patients. One of the things I think I've learned over the years is where to put my technology money. You can buy the latest and greatest and it sit on a shelf, or you can figure out within your practice what's going to make the patient experience better. My practice offers several cosmetic procedures that are enhancing smiles with whitening, with Invisalign, the invisible braces, with porcelain work. So we see people's lives improve when we give them a beautiful smile. That's rewarding. The latest and greatest tool I have that keeps me excited is probably the Invisalign, invisible braces. It has allowed me to evolve my practice into a philosophy of move it, don't remove it. In other words, where I was before I had that tool, move it where I want it instead of putting something on top of it. Staying involved in dentistry on every level, local, state, and national, makes me a better dentist for my patients. I would hope that my patients would feel that from that phone call, even that initial phone call, all the way through to the end of their experience, that it was the best care they've gotten ever. When a patient, especially a very nervous patient with some dental anxiety, when they send their friends and family to us, then we know we've done a good job. That's the biggest compliment we can receive. Our patients are our life and our livelihood, and we appreciate every single patient that walks in that door. And these are our family, and we treat them that way.
Dave, I know you've been there a few times when there's been a big reveal. What's it like when the patient sees their new mouth for the first time?
Many times tears, but they're tears of joy. They never believed that they could actually change the way they looked so dramatically. And for many of them, it does change their life, whether it's being able to get a promotion that they were up for. It actually changes if you have somebody who's ashamed of their smile. And one of the things you often see is people will talk with their mouth covered. They'll also talk that way or do this if they see a dentist coming. But basically what they're ashamed. They're ashamed of their smile, and therefore they don't smile. And when you don't smile, other people think things about you. They perceive that you're unfriendly, that you don't want to talk to them, they make up all sorts of things as to why you don't do that. And when you suddenly start smiling, your personality changes, everyone's perception of you changes, and they really like you a whole lot more. And let's face it, if you smile at somebody, they'll probably smile back. Maybe not in New York, but here in Dallas, they will.
Exactly. There's a nice page on your website showing the before and afters, and as you scroll down this, I mean, some of these are just really amazing. It occurs to me that so many people spend money on stuff that the public never sees. Everybody sees your mouth.
They do indeed. And what's most interesting about smiles is that people will think you look younger, and you will, because as you age, your teeth turn yellower. And when you whiten them up, the gestalt is, oh, they are younger than they actually are. So it's kind of a cheap facelift, as it were, without the surgery. But it's also just a surprising thing, because they'll know that something's changed. They know you look better, but if we do it right, they don't think it's this. They just, oh, did you have a new hairstyle or what is it? And that's the best compliment, because yes, we can do the Hollywood smiles where they know that that's what it is. But the majority is just making people look the best they can look without it making look fake.
And I know you're very proud of your team. We've got some pictures of your team, and I want to talk about the culture in your office. What is it like?
Very supportive, very oriented towards the patient. We actually hire based upon their ability to relate to and be concerned about the welfare and what's best for the patient. And what we found is if we do that, the money comes and the success comes. But if we can focus on making the patient happy, what they want, not necessarily what we want, and also make sure that we are making them as healthy as possible, then everything follows from that.
Dave, I know there's people watching this right now saying, I want that, I just wish I could afford that. I mean, talk about pricing.
Pricing is not cheap. There are probably, for full mouth makeover, there's probably some cars you can get for less. But it's an investment that lasts for years. It, as I said, can change your life. And so it's a matter of, what do you think is most important for you? The veneers themselves, which is a very typical way of doing it, are over $3,000 a tooth. Now, people would consider that expensive. New York, they wouldn't,
right?
But here in Dallas. But at the same time, one of the smiles that we do is if they have healthy teeth and they're just not straight or white enough, we can use Invisalign, as my wife indicated in that video, and whiten it with laser whitening. And it'll be just as good as if you had put porcelain on it.
Okay.
If they already have healthy teeth, so they don't need veneers. So we are minimalists. We will try to do the least that we have to in order to get the perfect smile.
And does insurance cover any of this?
Zero.
Zero. Okay.
Now, interestingly enough, insurance doesn't cover much of anything. Dental insurance is kind of an oxymoron because it really is more like a coupon. And if you think about a coupon has a fixed amount that it'll give you. And in the case of dentistry, it's about $1,500 in a year. It has expiration dates. It has specific things that you can do and things that aren't covered. And of course, cosmetic is not covered at all. So what we've tried to do is come up with a program, and we call it our Preferred Patient Membership Program, whereby we can actually provide full preventive coverage for a low monthly fee, and it's $40 a month for an adult under 60, $35 if they're over 60, or if they're a ex-military or someone like a fireman or a policeman. And that covers 100% of everything they have to do preventive-wise. And then if they want or need some doctor work, well, then they get a discount on that from our regular fee. And on top of that, it even covers cosmetic.
Wow.
So they get the discount on the cosmetic that they wouldn't have gotten from their insurance plan. And we have the folks who don't have insurance because only 40% of Texans have insurance, dental insurance. So we make sure that everybody has an opportunity.
Well, I can see why you guys are so successful. We only have about a minute left. Final thoughts. What would you like to leave people with?
When you're looking for a cosmetic dentist, experience counts. So one of the things that we have at our fingertips now is not only our friends who may or may not have undergone it, but we have reviews. You know, welcome to the world of Google. Read our Google reviews. And I think you'll find that we have a whole lot of folks out there who think we're pretty special in terms of not only the job we do, but how they are treated as patients. And again, that is our focus on patient satisfaction first.
Outstanding. It's been a great segment. We're going to end with the website, which is dallascosmeticdentist.us. The great Dave Swift. Thanks for coming on the show.
Thanks, Jeff. Appreciate it.
That's it for now. We'll see you next time.